Early Church Fathers, August 3rd, Irenaeus Against Heresies, Book 4, Chapter 36. One vineyard, one Father, one mission. The Father who shaped the world planted a vineyard and entrusted it to tenant farmers. When harvest drew near, he sent servants, the prophets, to collect fruit fit for him. Some farmers beat the servants, others stoned them, still others killed them. At last he sent his beloved Son, confident they would reverence the heir, but they dragged him outside the vineyard and murdered him. What will the Master do? He will destroy those killers and lease the vineyard to others who yield good fruit in season. The stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. This is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Psalm 118, 22, 23. Because the Father sent both servants and Son, I will not divide their origin. The same God who spoke through the prophets now speaks in his Son. The same Maker of all sends first emissaries who say, "Thus says the Lord," then the Son who declares Mengt. But I say to you, supreme authority in the same household. From Adam to the apostles, one unfolding covenant. The Father planted humanity in Adam, fenced it with Mosaic worship, raised Jerusalem as tower, and hollowed a winepress for the prophetic spirit. Before Babylon, he sent some prophets. After exile, he sent even more, crying, "Wash your hearts clean, seek justice, defend the orphan, plead for the widow." Isaiah 1:16-17. They looked for righteousness, yet the tenants answered with violence. At last the Son came, and they cast him out. Therefore the Father tore down the hedge, widened the borders, and offered the vineyard to believing nations. Everywhere now springs a glorious tower, the church, and everywhere flows the winepress, for the Spirit is poured on all who receive him. Those who refuse the Son are themselves rejected, as Jeremiah foretold. Gentile shepherds now graze upon the hills of faith. Watchfulness until the final harvest. One and the same Lord flooded a disobedient world in Noah's day and rained fire on Sodom and Lot's. The same Lord will descend for judgment at the end. Therefore I gird my loins, keep my lamp aflame, and guard my heart from drunken carelessness, lest that day snare me like a thief. People bought and sold, married and feasted until the flood swept them away. They built and planted until fire fell from heaven. So it will be when the Son of Man appears. For towns that spurn apostolic witness, the coming fire will be harsher than Sodom's. Even Capernaum, lifted sky-high by miracles, will be cast down to Hades if unrepentant. One Father, one vineyard, one judgment. Thus I confess one Creator who planted the vineyard, led Israel from Egypt, sent prophets as servants, and Christ as Son, and now gathers fruit among every nation. To split Father, Son, and prophets among rival gods is madness. To live unfruitfully beneath so patient a master is ruin. Let me, then, render the harvest of obedience while the season lasts, that when the Lord of the vineyard comes, I may rejoice to place ripe clusters in his hands. The one Son judges then and now. The Son of God never changes. I give living water to every believer, yet I wither the fruitless fig tree at a single word. In Noah's day I drowned a corrupt race that mingled with rebellious angels, preserving Adam's seed while cutting off a barren generation. In Lot's day I rained fire on Sodom and Gomorrah, a standing proof that every tree failing to yield good fruit is destined for the flames. I warned Capernaum and every town that rejected my signs. The final reckoning will fall harder on you than on Sodom, for greater light demands greater fruit. The gift is larger because I have poured a fuller measure of the Father's grace upon the world. Therefore the penalty is heavier for those who spurn it. Servants, Son, and wedding guests from one king, hear me speak again. The kingdom of heaven resembles a king who prepared a wedding feast for his son. First, he sent servants to the invited, but they brushed them off, one to his farm, another to his trade, some seizing the messengers, insulting and killing them. The king, enraged, dispatched his armies, destroyed those murderers, and burned their city. Then he told his servants to gather guests from every highway, good and bad alike, until the hall was filled. Yet when the king entered, he found one guest without wedding clothes. Silent before the throne, that man was bound hand and foot and cast into outer darkness. Many are called, few are chosen. By this parable I reveal one and the same king, the Father of all. He first invited Israel through the prophets. When they beat and slew those heralds, he sent other servants, the apostles, and finally welcomed the nations into his banquet. The servant killers met just judgment. The highways rang with a new call of grace. Even so, every guest must put on the Spirit's garment, for the king who opens his palace also expels the contemptuous soul. One Father calls, clothes, and judges after summoning you. I require a life woven with righteousness, so the Spirit may rest upon you. That clothing swallows mortality in immortality. If a man enters my feast without the garment of the Spirit, because he clings to wicked works, I command my ministers to hurl him into the night of weeping. As under the first covenant many displeased me, so now many are called yet few proved. The same Father invites and inspects, heals and condemns. When I cured the lame man, I warned him, sin no more lest worse evil befall you. I endure nothing foul in my bridal chamber. The Father who framed all things lends existence even to rulers ignorant of him. Therefore he calls their armies his and wields them as rods of retribution. All authority stands or falls beneath his hand. The apostles and I proclaim no other God than the one who made the earth, spoke through Moses, and governs kings. He killed the fatted calf for the prodigal, yet withheld a kid from the jealous elder. He hired workers at every hour, but paid each with the same royal coin, life stamped with my image. East and west will soon recline with Abraham, while the self-exalted heirs gnash their teeth outside. One Father chose the patriarchs, warned Israel, and now gathers the Gentiles into the eternal feast. Augustine, The Confessions, Book 11, Chapter 18, Sections 23-24. Where are past and future? I keep searching, Lord, my hope, and I will not let confusion stop me. If there truly are past and future times, show me where they dwell. Wherever I imagine them, I see they are present only as now. For if something is future, it has not yet arrived. If it is past, it has already vanished. So wherever or whatever they may be, they exist only as a present reality. When I recall my childhood long gone, I do not pull the days themselves out of the grave of time. I summon images stored in memory, footprints left as they crossed my senses. Those pictures stand before me right now. But how, my God, do we gaze ahead? Do images of what does not yet exist somehow lodge in the mind? I confess, I do not know. I do know that I often plan actions still to come. The planning unfolds in the present, while the act itself is still absent. When I finally rise and do what I had planned, the deed passes from future to present, no longer imagined but performed. Seeing the future by signs, whatever this hidden foreseeing may be, a person can look at nothing except what is. Saying we see the future simply means we behold causes or signs already here. Those signs sit before the eyes, and from them the mind shapes a prediction. Take a simple example. Dawn glows on the horizon. I announce the sun will soon rise. Dawn is present. Sunrise is still ahead, not because the sun itself is unreal, but because its rising is not yet. I could not voice that prediction unless an inner picture of the rising formed in me, and that picture is present while I speak. Even so, the brightening east is not the sunrise itself, though it precedes it, and the mental image is not the sunrise, though it portrays it. Both signs, the sky and my thought, exist now so that something not yet real may be foretold. Therefore, future events are literally not. They do not yet possess being. What is not cannot be seen. Yet from what is, signs already present, we confidently declare what will be. So I return to this truth. Past and future times live only through the present. Past moments survive as present memories. Future happenings arrive as present expectations. Memory and expectation are both current acts of the soul, each holding what no longer exists or what does not yet exist, each happening in the living now. Thus I understand that only the present time can be perceived, and even it slips away the instant I try to grasp it. Thomas Aquinas, Summa Theologica, Part 1, Question 103, Article 1. Whether the world is governed by anyone, objection. It seems the universe rolls on by blind necessity or random chance, so no personal ruler directs it. Responsio government means a guiding mind that orders many parts toward a single good. Every agent acts for an end, and lesser agents often miss or overreach unless steadied by a higher hand. Because creatures possess diverse powers and goals, their harmony cannot arise from themselves. They require an intellect that grasps the whole pattern and draws each element to its proper place. As the craftsman steers bronze and fire to shape a sword, so God disposes all causes, natural, free, and even chance, so that through their own motions they attain the good he intends. Therefore the entire cosmos lives under one sovereign governor, who is himself the ultimate good. Quick Summa, God personally orders every creature toward its appointed good, so the universe is truly governed. Zack and the Clockwork Orchard. Zack inherited an abandoned estate whose orchard had grown wild. Wind scattered seeds where it pleased, storms snapped branches, foxes tunneled under fences. Standing amid the tangle, Zack wondered whether he ought to intervene or let nature take its course. An old caretaker met him at dawn. "The trees will bear," the man said, "but without pruning they crowd each other. Without grafting the fruit turns small. Without watchmen the foxes feast first." Zack took up the shears. He lopped dead limbs, spaced saplings, trained vines along sturdy trellises. A month later, pink blossoms opened in disciplined rows. Bees hummed down appointed lanes. Even the foxes, deterred by good fencing, found their own niche along the wood's edge. One evening, Zack climbed the hill and surveyed the scene. Order rising from apparent chaos, each creature kept in balance. Every branch guided toward a harvest none could achieve alone. He realized the orchard had not lost its freedom. Storms still blew and bees still wandered, but his hidden governance made their freedom fruitful. Likewise, God does not stifle the world's natural powers. He directs them. Winds may rage and foxes may dig, yet beneath their restless motion, a wiser hand shapes the orchard of creation until every tree bears the fruit it was meant to give.